Hey everybody, this is Bo back in the lounge. I want to say hello to our 1.5 million listeners all over this great planet and the military bases that tune in and send questions. We're going to go out to Central Michigan University, talk to their legend, Tom Borrelli. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Bo?
Wonderful, Coach. Thank you so much for taking the time. You are getting very, very busy right now.
Yes, you're welcome, and I appreciate you having me on.
Coach, you have a stellar reputation. You're a legend in wrestling. You've got so many accolades, so many academic awards, so many, obviously, athletic awards for the athletes you bring to the table. You're now heading out to a conference, correct?
Yes, I'm going to Fort Lauderdale for the National Wrestling Coaches Convention.
Fort Lauderdale. I would expect them going to like Alaska or something. How do you get to go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, when the rest of us in the business world always get sent out to like Nome, Alaska, or somewhere frigid and cold?
I don't know, but the middle of August isn't the best time to be in Fort Lauderdale. I'd rather be in Traverse City, Michigan right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I tend to burn quite easily myself. Coach, we just saw Fargo, a lot of stories coming out of our high school wrestlers out in Fargo. You've got some senior leadership and some new guys heading into the squad. But who are those right now, those varsity players that are taking ownership over the squad and really help stabilizing the new guys showing up to campus this week?
Well, we have 4 guys that have really taken a leadership role on our team. 3 guys in particular that really had a great summer and really motivated the rest of our guys. Steve Brown, our returning, he was our 149-pounder this past year, but he'll probably move up to 157 this year. Tony D'Elia, our starting 141-pounder this past year, he's probably going to move up to 149. And then Tyler Grayson, our starting 157-pounder this past year, that's going to be at 165. So all of those 3 guys are going to move up a weight class and really had a great summer in the weight room and on the mats. And then Mike Miller, who was our 174-pounder last year, is also in that group.
Coach, you've seen a lot of stuff over the years that in wrestling. You've seen the growth of the sport. You've seen the decline of the sport. Right now, we're seeing a lot of wrestling being created on many campuses across this country. Has it reached the D1 level yet?
Unfortunately, you see a lot of growth in wrestling on the youth level and on the high school level right now. There's a ton of growth, especially in the youth level. A lot at the grassroots level is going on. I think MMA has really helped the popularity of high school wrestling because those 2 sports overlap a lot. But it's not reflected as much on the Division I college level. Unfortunately, there's some federal laws, Title IX for one, that and the economy that have affected that, and we don't see the growth, but I think that will come in the next 10 years as more and more youth get involved and then move into high school, and then their parents are looking for opportunities for them on the college level.
Yeah, we already see the pendulum slowly moving on club level and varsity sports in the D2s. Are now adding more wrestling programs across the country. You see them popping up because they're trying to compete with the Title IX, because they're actually at a, they need to create men's sport to equality across the board. In mixed martial arts, you said right there, the big thing for us is we see a lot of professionals that are very good at martial arts, but they're missing it, the ground and pound game. Also, the fact that wrestlers are probably the most trained individuals cardiovascularly across the board. I don't think there's anybody that trains harder than a wrestler.
No, you're right, and that, like I said, that crosses over to mixed martial arts very well. And the thing that's neat about wrestling is I think it's the toughest sport in college as far as from a cardiovascular standpoint, because you're training both energy systems. You're training the aerobic energy system and the anaerobic energy system, and that's hard to do. And it makes it a real special sport, and that's why it crosses over to MMA so well.
Well, the other thing that wrestling does, it is such a tight-knit group. The Tom Borrelli at Central Michigan knows the head coach over at Bacone College. Bacone College knows the coach that's all the way over in California. it is such a small community where names and reputations seem to carry across. Even athletes recognize one another. We have a parent up here that wrestled in college, was an All-American. He shows up at an event, and young freshmen are walking up saying, "Hey, I heard about you." It's that environment that I think breeds success in the sport. And you're right. In the next 10 years, as the maturity level of the youth come forward, the sport will have to grow in that direction.
Yeah, we're hoping so. But for that to happen, really the parents have to get involved. The parents of those youth wrestlers that want to see their sons and maybe daughters get an opportunity to compete on the Division I level. Unfortunately, with our economics the way they are now, there are certain sports that demand so many resources because of the revenue that they can produce, and those sports get the lion's share at the Division I level. And unfortunately, there are some Olympic sports like track, like wrestling, like swimming, like tennis, those type of sports that are struggling a little bit. And when parents of those young kids get involved and talk to legislators and say, "Hey, our people are involved in this sport on a youth level, on a high school level, our sons and daughters. We want them to have Division I opportunities in college to not only pursue their dream as an athlete, but also get an education." When that starts happening, I think some of these things will change in our society.
Well, right now, wrestling, as we can see at the high school level, most of the parents that wrestled are extreme professionals, doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects. Some of the individuals you would never think would have worn a headgear are the ones making decisions in our country right now. So that's got to swing. I think if more people, like you said, come forward and talk about the benefits of wrestling, they're going to have to fold and start creating programs or, giving more money back to the programs. For all the hard work you put into it, Coach, you've done such a great job at that university. Your name is well known in the wrestling communities across the board, and it's not because of longevity. It's because of the success that you breeded in your program.
Well, I appreciate that, and a lot of that has to do not only with the support of our parents and our administration here at Central Michigan University, but just the hard work and the effort of our athletes. That they have as much to do with the building of this program as anyone.
Now, Coach, real quickly before we let you go, because we know you're busy, we know you're getting ready to head out to Fort Lauderdale and slap some sunscreen on, but what is right now at the high school level? We know academics. We always preach it here in the lounge. Every time we meet anybody, we're always asking what's your grade point average instead of what's your bench pressing. But as a high school athlete physically, what do they really have to work on that they're not working at that level right now?
Well, first of all, let me also stress academics. There's so much more money out there for academic scholarships than there are athletic scholarships, especially in the Olympic sports. And when we can put together an academic package with an athletic package and make our money go further, because we do have limited scholarships in the Olympic sports, that is extremely important. Especially with the new NCAA rules concerning, academic performance rating and graduation ratios and things like that. But other than that, I think one of the things that young people really need to work on in today's society is mental toughness. Sometimes I just don't think we learn how to persevere and how to persist like we should in our society, young people nowadays. I think they're rewarded a lot of times for not maximum effort, just for participation and being involved. And I think sometimes we need to teach people, how to persevere and be persistent to get what they want.
Awesome, Coach. Thanks for taking the time with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome, Coach. Tom Borrelli from Central Michigan University. If you know anything about wrestling, you know this guy right here in our state is one of the best. Coach, you have a good day and enjoy that sunscreen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye.